It was a sweltering afternoon on the outskirts of a small African village where the sun blazed mercilessly, casting long shadows over the dusty road. The landscape stretched endlessly, punctuated by sparse trees and dry shrubs. Few dared to venture out in the scorching heat except for one unusual figure, a lone lion silently prowling along the road. This lion, known to the villagers as Mufasa, was a gentle giant who had always kept his distance from humans, preferring the solitude of the wilderness. As Mufasa sauntered along, his sharp ears picked up an unusual sound that didn't belong to the arid silence. Soft, muffled cries. Curiosity piqued, the lion trotted toward the sound, and there, on the side of the road, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. It was a boy no older than 6, sitting hunched over with tears streaming down his face. His clothes were dusty, his knees scraped, and he appeared utterly alone. The sight of the abandoned child stirred something deep within Mufasa. Slowly he approached, his massive paws barely making a sound on the dry earth. The boy, sensing movement, looked up and gasped, his eyes widening in fear at the sight of the lion, but Mufasa didn't pounce. He sat down a few feet away, his golden eyes meeting the boy's tear-filled gaze. In a show of gentle understanding, the lion lay down on the ground, resting his great head on his paws, a soft rumble of reassurance emanating from his throat. The boy, too shocked to move, watched in disbelief as the formidable creature settled near him, showing no signs of aggression. Minutes passed, and the boy's fear began to ebb away, replaced by curiosity. He wiped his eyes with the back of his hand and cautiously inched closer to the lion. Mufasa remained still, his eyes half closed as if to signal that he meant no harm. Encouraged by the lion's calm demeanor, the boy reached out hesitantly, his small hand barely grazing the lion's mane. The coarse fur was warm to the touch, and the boy let out a small giggle, a sound that hadn't escaped his lips in days. The bond was formed. Mufasa rose to his feet and gestured with his head as if urging the boy to follow. The boy stood, still wary, but now trusting the lion more than the empty road. They walked side by side, Mufasa occasionally glancing back to ensure the boy was keeping pace. The lion led the boy off the beaten path, through a thicket of trees and into a clearing where a small, glistening pond lay nestled. Exhausted and thirsty, the boy dropped to his knees, cupping water in his hands and drinking deeply. Mufasa stood watch, his imposing figure a silent guardian. Once refreshed, the boy leaned back and for the first time smiled. As dusk fell, the village search party, led by the boy's frantic parents, combed the area. Word had spread quickly about the missing child, and the entire community had rallied to help. They had almost given up hope when they stumbled upon the clearing, lit softly by the fading sunlight. The scene before them was one they would never forget. Their boy, safe and sound, with Mufasa sitting protectively beside him. Gasps of astonishment echoed through the crowd. The parents ran forward, sweeping their son into a tight embrace, tears of relief streaming down their faces. Mufasa stood, his task seemingly complete, and prepared to return to the wild. But before he could leave, the boy broke free from his parents and ran to the lion, throwing his arms around the beast's thick neck in a gesture of pure gratitude. The villagers, moved by the extraordinary display of nature's compassion, vowed to protect Mufasa and his pride, recognizing the deep connection between the boy and the lion as something sacred. From that day forward, Mufasa was no longer just a lion of the wilderness, but a legend, a symbol of the unexpected bonds that can form between man and beast. His story was passed down through generations, a testament to the fact that even in the most unlikely situations, kindness and courage could bridge worlds.